All right. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you guys taking the time to join us today. My name, as I mentioned earlier, is Armando Wershing. I am with Compasso, an Oracle Platinum partner. Joining me today is Christina Mullins from Oracle. She is a sales consultant at Oracle and is not very knowledgeable on these tools, and she'll actually be helping us with the demonstration of the IT analytics tool. Christina, would you like to say hi real quick?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Christina Mullins. I'm a principal sales consultant in the IT operations management group at Oracle. I'm based in San Diego. Recently celebrated 10 years at Oracle and it's still loving it.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So one more, just kind of typical bottles. The slide we got to go through is the safe harbor slide. Why do we do this? Well, one of the really cool and interesting things about Oracle Management Cloud products is how quickly they innovate and how quickly they roll out new features. And because of that, there's always discussion about what's coming next. So as we present today, and as Christina does the demo, she's going to talk to you about very newly announced features and functions and capabilities. She may mention a couple of roadmap capabilities, but we like to be clear that anything that is not currently available and not released, we don't know when that is officially going to come out. And that's the whole context of the safe harbor statement. You can't hold Oracle or us liable for telling you that something is in the future and then guessing that the future means a week from now, right? That's not the case. So, safe harbor statement covered. Now, a little bit of a commercial on Compasso so you know who we are and why we're doing this. As I mentioned earlier, Compasso is an Oracle Platinum partner. There's only one level higher of partnership. We've been around for 20 years. We do exclusively Oracle technologies. All right, that means that we have very deep, very broad expertise in a bunch of areas at Oracle. We can provide education and training. We can sell you the licenses directly if you want as part of package deals. We can do implementation solutions and services, or we can just manage it and run it for you. There are three key areas that we like to highlight most. One is the enterprise manager and management cloud practice. That's my practice, focused on IT automation and management. There's an ERP practice focused on the cloud ERP, and in particular, helping customers deploy and or set up their ERP systems for Brazil tax localization. I myself will probably never again complain about U.S. tax law, having been in some of these meetings where we review Brazil tax law. We have it easy. Let me just sum it up there. Lastly is commerce or e-commerce. Obviously, commerce is the technologies that used to be called ATG and Deca. They're now wrapped up under the Oracle Commerce Platform. There's also the Oracle Cloud Commerce solution. So all those wrap up into the commerce practice, whether that's B2B or B2C. Lots of experience and expertise delivering soup to nuts projects for e-commerce in those spaces. All right. Well, thank you for taking that bit of a commercial from us. Now, let's get to what we were originally going to talk about today, which is Oracle Management Cloud, specifically the IT analytics solution that is part of the offering of Management Cloud, that service. What brought around the Oracle Management Cloud? Well, competition, obviously, but what brought about that competition, the need for these kinds of products? It's a mentality that's been coming up and a requirement of IT over the past, that has increased exponentially over the past 5, 10 years, where you have to do more. And not even necessarily with less, it's just you have to do more, right? We have to deliver faster. We have to support the business. The business is moving at breakneck speed, and they cannot take no for an answer from anybody, especially IT, that 9 times out of 10 is considered a cost center, right? So you standing there and saying, no, we can't do this as an IT professional is an immediate red flag to the business as a whole, right? Whenever the business has a process and something they want to launch and they have a marketing event and they know we have a window of opportunity to take advantage of this social event, right? Or this particular historical event, whatever the case may be, or this sales marketing event. We have a window of opportunity. And if we miss that window, we've lost the opportunity to do that. often to support those with opportunities, there's IT involvement of some sort, new environments, new services, whatever the case may be. So we have to meet that requirement to deliver faster, right? There's going to be a 200-time increase in the average number of releases per year as you look across individual IT departments. There is zero tolerance for critical issues. When you are moving this fast, you can't hit the brakes, right? In order to stop and figure out what happened wrong, what happened, and what broke, right? This is not, you don't have the ability to just stop the entire business and do that. You have to keep going. So if it's a critical issue, you have to reduce it, or you have to remove it, fix it, identify it, and get it out of the way as fast as humanly possible. And the only way to do that are with tools that give you broad and deep coverage, right? Not just deep coverage in a particular technology area, but broad and deep, right? And by having that broad and deep coverage, you're going to reduce the triage effort because you're not looking at 5 or 6 different tools in order to do RCA. You're looking at one and drilling down as far as you need to within that one tool, right? So how do we get to the management cloud? These are the requirements. This is what's happening in the world that's driving us to get there. How do we get here? Well, I like to talk about a brief and simplified history of IT ops. And yes, it is a bit of a take on a brief history of time. If you don't know what that book is, well, I've labeled myself a geek and I'm proud of it. So let's move on. A brief and simplified history of IT operations. Where did we start? We started in this hunt and gather methodology, which means that when something happened, we went hunting for clues. The venerable ps.ef grep for Java, right? Find out what processes are running, what's wrong, look at the metrics for those individual processes, get their ID, and maybe even kill them, right? Depending on what's going on. Then, in the Microsoft world, you had Microsoft MOM, which is a little bit more of a UI, gave you similar information, gave you broader information as it grew in capabilities, right? So as you look at MOM, that was that first transition into that farming and reporting type of IT operations. Whereas instead of an issue happens, we are going to go search for clues, we are now gathering all the possible sources of clues, pulling them together, right, and putting them in a place where we can immediately go and search through them without having to go pull them from anywhere, in particular logs, log archiving into a central repository, creating automatic tracking of specific metrics, availability, things like that. And initially, when this was done many years ago, it was done with either off-the-shelf tools or custom Perl scripts or shell scripts that scrape data or scrape command line information and presented it in a somewhat visual fashion. Now, what were the benefits of this? One is you did have a singular place to go look at data, right? It made identifying the possible cause of issues and that first step in RCA much faster. The problem is, right, that as you now try to maintain this system of monitoring over time, the fact that they were based on individual custom shell scripts, right, all these extensions and custom code and SQL and Perl and all this other stuff, they were very high maintenance. And they were high maintenance in the worst way. They were high maintenance in the way that maybe 1 or 2 people had any idea how to fix them if it went wrong. So then, a few years ago, we started migrating into monitoring as a service. Right here, the lead-in was, well, we don't want to spend any more money and expense on hosting tools that are there to monitor or maintain our production environments. Right? Instead, we're going to buy it as a service and use it where we need it and get the best of breed of each as far as we're concerned. That led to another problem. We had all these really cool tools that didn't talk to each other. So now, what we've done is we basically move our siloed tools into the cloud, right? Now we can't even custom integrate these pieces together because we have no access to their backends. So our performance monitoring, our logs, our service deck, our cloud controls, our CMDB are all out there in the cloud, and they're all really good tools, but we can't integrate them in any way, shape, or form. So that's where Oracle stepped in, right? Oracle said, we see the benefit of this cloud. We know that this is where everything is going. We know that the only way for IT to keep up is to offload from them the requirement of having to maintain the tools. Instead, we just want them to be able to use the tools, right? Forget about having to have all this overhead to maintain monitoring and operational tools. Just leverage the tool, right? And we'll build it in such a way where it's going to deliver ease of functionality, ease of deployment, right? The ability to integrate across life cycle events in order to support methodologies such as agile or even further along the line DevOps, right? We are looking at this world where the roles and responsibilities of any particular person in IT can stretch from development all the way out to production, right? Operations and development are not kind of this big blur goop in the middle with QA throwing in tests somewhere in the middle. It sounds horrible, but the benefits of it are tremendous. The ability to move quickly, adeptly, right, and keep up and even surpass the ability of the business to generate opportunity um, is what DevOps implies. So, creating tools that provide more information, that correlate operational data in depth and in breadth, allows you to distribute these capabilities quickly and simplifies the ability to digest the information, giving you rich and dense information, right, in an easy to view dashboard. So what does this mean? It means that we now have the ability to counter, right? Provide the services of the monolithic IT ops monitoring tools where you have to buy software, you have to buy hardware to host that software, and then you have to have resources that will maintain that up software and apply resources, right? Whereas IT is trying to do something that totally challenges that paradigm. They want newer tools all the time, the best features all the time, and faster deployment. Well, how do we do that? Oracle Management Cloud, an integrated set of tools, right, that provides systems management solutions. And this actual slide is brand new. If you have been there before last week in the previous sessions, you will not have seen the slide. That's because last week at Open World, Oracle announced even more features of functionality around Oracle Management Cloud, specifically those areas that are in blue there. We had application performance monitoring, we had log analytics, we had IT analytics, but now there's infrastructure monitoring, orchestration, compliance, and security monitoring and analytics as all part of the management cloud. So you take all these pieces together and you have a very holistic and heterogeneous solution for IT operations management that lives and works in whatever application platform or tool or environment you're trying to build your applications, right? Whether it's Oracle Cloud, Azure, Amazon, whatever, right? So lots of benefits to this. Now, very cool announcements. There's data informed. We will probably schedule some sessions on these new capabilities in the future. We don't have plans for it yet, but keep in mind you will definitely be on the mailing list. Now, the cloud. The cloud allows continuous ingestion, leverages machine learning and AI, and enormous processing power in order to take customer generated data, that data that gets generated when customers are interacting with the applications or services, and machine generated data, that data that gets generated just because something is running, not necessarily because anybody's using it, right? Takes all of that and allows you and delivers, again, comprehensive monitoring, anomaly detection, and real time insight, right? And we're going to see how this all works together, specifically around IT analytics today. And that's the third offering that we've been doing in over the past 3 weeks. We covered application performance monitoring, which is that user performance monitoring and web services and servlets and such. Log analytics, allowing you to review and drill down and through all of your logs in order to be able to, excuse me, to identify and do some root cause analysis and even report and provide business dashboards based off of log information, right? Kind of blows your mind to be able to do that. But today, we're going to talk about IT analytics, right? We're going to talk about how do you use all this vast amount of information that's available to you about performance numbers and such, and take a very strategic view, not a tactical alerting or root cause analysis type of a thing, but instead looking out 3 months, 6 months, a year, and seeing are my systems going to be able to continue to provide continuous delivery and performance as I look out at the growth rates over the future. And in order to do that, I'm going to turn it over to Christina, who will be taking us through a little bit of an overview about these applications, right? And, oh, sorry, about these services in IT analytics, what they look like, and of course, give us a brief demo of the tools. So, Christina, I will turn it over to you.
Okay, can you hear me and can you see my screen?
I can hear you. I can see your screen now. The screen that I'm seeing is the one that's showing the slide and the notes. Just so you know.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Let me switch it to share the third screen. Okay, let's see. Screen. Are you seeing the IT cloud service?
I am. We're seeing the correct slide now.
Okay, and you're not seeing my cheat sheet.
I'm not. We're not seeing your cheat sheet. You are good to go. We're just seeing the presentation slide.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Okay, so today's focal point is about using analytics of IT operational data to gain insight that can help you manage your IT investment and support your business. So what is Oracle IT Analytics Cloud Service, ITA? ITA is a software as a service application that leverages the Oracle Management Cloud Big Data Platform that takes a vast amount of operational data that's generated across the entire application portfolio. It parses it, correlates it, and analyzes it. It then turns all that raw operational data into meaningful and actionable insights for our customers to manage their IT operations. And ITA provides you with 360-degree insights into the performance, the availability, and capacity of your applications and infrastructure components. Using the various data visualization tools in ITA, you can perform data extrapolation, what-if analyses, trending, and forecasting. So ITN enables line of business executives, IT executives, analysts, and administrators to make the critical decisions about their IT estate based on operational intelligence. So what are the questions that ITA can help answer? ITA helps answer the big questions such as, in terms of resource, in general, are we overutilized or underutilized? Which system will be maxed out on, say, CPU utilization in 6 months based on the current growth rate? Do we have any system-wide performance bottlenecks in either the database tier or the mid-tier that would affect the service levels of our very critical applications? And what is the performance trends across applications in the entire enterprise? And for the ones that are slow, is there a specific geography or a specific device type that shows performance degradation? What about availability? Which applications in my entire company have the most number of downtimes, and how quickly did they recover? Oracle IT Analytics provides many out-of-the-box applications so that our customers can get immediate value. Under capacity, we offer resource analytics for database and middleware, and we recently added resource analytics for hosts. For performance, in addition to analyzing database and middleware performance, we now also have application performance analytics. The availability analytics feature is a brand new feature that focuses on the health and availability of applications and the infrastructure that support those applications. First, let's take a look at resource analytics for database and middleware. It's extremely important to understand how resources such as CPU, memory, or storage are consumed by the different infrastructure components, especially those that support critical customer-facing applications. Excuse me. In ITA, You can analyze resource usage based on the target's life cycle so that you can focus on, for example, looking at the resource usage of your mission critical or production databases. ITA also provides data visualization tools such as the heat map to help quickly identify the databases, app servers, or SQL queries that need attention. For example, you can look at a heat map and immediately spot the biggest resource hog, which will be represented by the biggest cell, and the ones with the and you can also spot the ones with the fastest growth rate, which will be highlighted in bright red that you can't miss. ITA also lets you analyze resource utilization trends and plan for the future. You can use ITA to extrapolate what growth will be like based on historical and current data. So you would know, for example, exactly how many cores you would need and when. Some customers have thousands or tens of thousands of targets. Using a product such as Oracle IT Analytics, they can very quickly get the big picture of what's going on with the entire IT estate. Are they overutilized or overutilized? What are the top resource consumers? And with this insight, they're able to make better judgments that would affect the whole IT and business. The host resource analytics has been added recently. This focuses on host CPU, memory, and storage utilization. It supports all types of hosts, both on-premise and in the cloud. So you can view utilization and perform capacity planning of compute resources for both types of deployment, whether it is on-premise or in the cloud. The application also identifies hosts with excess capacity so that you can redistribute the workload. You can put the workload on the underutilized hosts and just transfer them over. I'd like to point out that scatter diagram on the screen. This is a very nice feature. This is another effective data visualization tool in ITA. So for each host, we plot a pair of metrics: the CPU usage on the x-axis and the memory usage on the y-axis. In this case, you can very easily see the correlation between CPU and memory for each host. The diagram also has 4 quadrants. The top right dark red segment represents the highest CPU and memory utilization. In this case, at a glance, you can instantly spot how many hosts fall into that category and then perform evaluation from there. Now let's talk about performance analytics. ITA provides performance analytics for database and middleware. Performance problems can be extremely costly for a business and can be up to millions of dollars from just a couple of hours of performance problems. ITA helps reveal the major bottlenecks to help reduce risk and improve service quality and availability. For database, you can analyze database activity across all the databases to see how much of the activity is actually using CPU, how much of that is doing I/O, or just waiting for resources. You can use top SQL to look at the top SQL statements or queries that has the worst response time, and whether any of those are also degrading in performance very quickly. In terms of middleware performance, ITA helps analyze the hotspots in the middle tier and analyze middleware performance issues caused by garbage collection overhead or JDBC data source connection failures or issues. We're very excited to be introducing this new analytics for application performance. With this application, the application managers and DevOps can analyze trends in application performance metrics as well as errors from across applications. You can find out, for example, which tier is contributing to application slowdown, and find out the pages that have the most number of errors or most number of views. Analyses can also be performed by various dimensions such as geography, the type of browser or device type, to identify problem areas that may be affecting the application and user experience. Availability analytics, this is also new. It focuses on the health and availability of applications and the underlying infrastructure components. Using this application, line of business application owners can now pinpoint the worst applications based on occurrences or duration of downtime. This application also provides out-of-the-box insights into the availability trends to show if the condition is getting worse or better over time. You can also find out which host, database, or application server is the most problematic based on the number of incidents that have been reported. You can then analyze patterns based on the platform, the version, or category of events to uncover any systemic problems in your application infrastructure. Oracle IT Analytics provides many pre-built analyses or dashboards to help answer common questions, but there will be times when you want to ask your own questions following your own train of thought. In that case, you can use the Data Explorer to perform your own analyses. The Data Explorer has a very simple interactive user interface that lets you explore your operational data. The search function gives you quick access to both real-time as well as historical IT data regarding, for example, IT inventory, topologies, configurations, metrics, and events. You can also define your own sets of key performance indicators, KPIs, that are of particular importance to your organization to help uncover trends and predict growth. Your analyses can be saved as custom dashboards for the people involved with important decision making. You can also create different types of dashboards for specialized topics. For example, some for SLAs, some for IT asset inventory, and some for performance from different data centers. Oracle IT Analytics helps improve your business. It helps increase efficiency by having a deep understanding of your resource utilization profile. Your organization can optimize existing IT investments and really can do more with less. And with the ability to easily uncover and eliminate system-wide or enterprise-wide problems, you can drive down the support costs by catching and resolve issues early on and proactively. Since host resource analytics can identify hosts with excess capacity, workload can be transferred to the underutilized host, which helps reduce capital procurement costs. And with the accurate capacity planning provided by ITA, now you can plan for the future based on statistical analyses against your company's operational data, and you can avoid unnecessary hardware purchases. ITA helps enable IT transformation. What it means is that ITA will enable you to transform your IT from simply a call center to a strategic business partner that align with the overall goals of the business. And ITA allows IT to be more proactive, drive down costs, while delivering high quality of service. And right now, I'd like to give you an overview of the technical requirements for IT analytics. There are three key components for both log analytics and IT analytics. They are the cloud agent, data collector, and the gateway agent. Now, since all of the OMC services leverage the underlying big data platform hosted on the Oracle Cloud, this platform takes all the operational data collected from various sources. In order for OMC to gather data, there are a couple of lightweight agents that are part of the technical requirements for ITA. And we have a couple of collection points in your IT environment. The cloud agent collects logs and Oracle database workload repository, AWR data. The data collector leverages what you already have collected in your enterprise manager deployment. It gathers data from the EM repository. It extracts information such as targets information, configuration, metrics, and incident data. The gateway, this is just a cache proxy. This buffers data received from the agent, from the cloud agent and the data collector, and send it to OMC. So the only piece that needs access to the outside world, to OMC, is the gateway, and this is via a secure port. This concludes the presentation portion, and now I would like to go to the demo. Can you see the welcome screen? Okay, I take that as a yes.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I can see we can see the.
Okay. This is the welcome screen to Oracle Management Cloud when you log in. It shows the various service offerings, such as APM, Log Analytics, and IT Analytics. With the new services that we just announced, you'll be seeing those as well. All these services are tightly integrated. They all leverage the same underlying OMC big data platform to provide a comprehensive and cohesive system management solution. For today's demo, the focus is on IT Analytics, ITA. And before I start the demo, I'd like to point out that I'll be referencing some of the infrastructure components that's relating to a demo application called RideShare. This demo application provides carpool services, and we just use it as an example in the demo for a critical customer-facing application that's also fast-growing. ITA provides a set of pre-built dashboards, as well as you can create your custom dashboards for the different stakeholders. Now, we have a set of dashboards available to us, for example, database health, host health, database performance analytics, WebLogic health, and enterprise overview. For the demo today, we will be looking at performance analytics for middleware and resource analytics for database. So let's start with performance analytics for middleware. Garbage collection overheads are common bottlenecks encountered by application servers. And many of you may be familiar with garbage collection, but I'll just take a second to reiterate some basics for those who may not be. Garbage collection is a JVM process that manages heap memory. It identifies and removes unused application objects in order to make space for active objects. A major impact on your applications. So in our demo, we have set a garbage collection overhead threshold to 0.75% of JVM's time spent on garbage collection. And we are going to identify the application servers that have the most violations. Now let's take a look at the results. Here it shows that we have identified there are 13 servers in violation. The first widget shows us that there are several application servers, in this case the WebLogic servers for the biz rental application, as well as the rideshare application server. These are among the top servers that have the most number of garbage collection overhead threshold violations. Now the other widgets provides the configuration profiles, and these are supporting details in context of what we are trying to look at here. Configuration profiles, for example, for these offending application servers, what JDK versions are they running? What kind of garbage collection mechanism are they using? And what is the configured max heap size? Now, I can make changes here to perform what-if analyses. And what if I change the threshold violation to from 0.75 to 0.1%? What I want to know is if I will be expecting a significant increase in the number of impacted servers, and where the bottlenecks are more closely related to maybe another configuration. So this is dynamic. You get the answers instantly, and we see that we have many more violation servers. But now we see a different pattern. We see that most of the violations occur with WebLogic servers that have heap size, max heap size, between 2 to 4 gigs, whereas before it was over 8 gig. So in addition to looking at the overall performance for the entire WebLogic server deployment, we can also now find out what is behind those metrics by looking at heap usage breakdown by individual WebLogic servers. We can dig deeper, and using this heat map, I can instantly spot there are 2 WebLogic servers that may require attention as they are in bright red color. They have very high heap usage as indicated by the size of the cell, as this is relative to the other servers. The bright red color means that it has a very rapid rate of increase in terms of the number of violations. Now these servers not only have the most number of violations, the condition is actually getting very bad very quickly. So I like to select both of these and do some more analyses. This takes me to the garbage collection overhead analyses for the selected WebLogic servers. I can look at the performance trends, look at various performance metrics actually, and also view them in context of one another. For example, I can see the number of violations, the application pause time triggered by garbage collection, and the spikes are not good. These are the application pause time in minutes, and these should be reported to the IT administrator. I can also look at heap memory used by JVM and the number of requests per minute sent to the application server. This is extremely helpful to me because I can correlate to see if servers with high number of violations are also serving a large number of requests, which gives me a clue about changes we can make to improve performance. Now let's take a look of database resource analytics. Database resource analytics helps you understand how critical databases are used in your environment. You can also use it to analyze utilization trends and perform capacity planning. First, we get an overview of the overall utilization across all databases and resources such as CPU, I/O, storage, and interconnect activities. I can also focus on a particular a particular resource, for example, CPU. Now, the top chart gives me an understanding of CPU utilization within the enterprise. Here, we have the total CPU usage for all databases during a specified time period, as seen in blue here. The usage is presented in context of what we have, what available CPU we have in our environment, which is indicated, represented in the red line. So in this environment, I can see that the overall CPU consumption is rising very gradually, and we're not yet hitting capacity yet. This trend can also help me spot if there may be any unexpected CPU spikes on the trend line. In this case, we're not seeing any. So in addition to learning the overall enterprise-wide CPU usage, we can also drill down to look at the CPU usage for individual databases. I can dissect this information by different dimensions, such as database versions, lifecycle status, call center, as well as host names. Now, this gives me the ability to look at multiple views where I can just zoom in to reveal deeper insight. I'm going to choose lifecycle status instead of target version. This instantly gives me a totally different perspective. And although there are many hotspots in dev test as marked by the bright red color, which is very important to know, however, is more critical for me right now to identify how my mission critical databases are doing in terms of CPU usage. Especially the DB, which supports the fastest growing application in the company right now with extremely high visibility. So this insight is particularly valuable to me because it really aligns with what's going on with the business. So it's business driven. And I can see that RIDB has much higher CPU consumption relative to the other mission critical databases as indicated by its sheer size. Its CPU usage is also increasing quite quickly as reflected by the light red color. My question right now would be, what is the utilization trend for this database, and will we have enough capacity for growth? So I'm going to dig deeper by selecting this database. After selecting RIDB, the trend and forecast analysis is displayed below. Here, we can get instant visibility of core usage versus the maximum cores available for this database. The blue line shows the number of cores used over time. This is charted using current and historical data sets. And it shows a pretty steady climb in almost a linear fashion. The dotted green line, this is the projected resource utilization based on the past consumption. Now, this forecast shows that the core utilization will be maxed out in just a couple of months. I can take this valuable insight to see how we can address this trend. This prediction is based on a linear regression model. You can change the setting. We also provide other data mining models. You can choose any of these to control how you want your forecast to be done. So this is a very powerful tool that you can use to extrapolate what growth is going to look like in the future based on statistical analysis of a vast amount of historical and current data sets. This concludes the demo portion of today's session. I would just like to recap and do a quick summary. The demo you just saw shows that you can leverage Oracle IT Analytics to get a deep understanding of your entire IT estate. You have the ability to slice and dice the answers, perform different what-if analyses, uncover patterns, identify trends, and even plan for the future. Oracle IT Analytics enables you to gain valuable insights that can drive all types of decisions to improve your IT and business. It will give you the ability to achieve a very stable IT environment. Instead of always fighting fires, now you can be proactive and preempt a lot of the problems. It also allows you to deliver excellent quality of service and as well as excellent end user experience. And lastly, IT analytics helps you optimize resource utilization as well as capacity and be able to plan for future growth. And now I'd like to turn the time back to Armando.
Thanks, Christina. Appreciate you taking the time to demo this for us. And as you can see, there's lots of a variety of ways that this information can be of use. Obviously, in issue analysis, but definitely in that strategic capability of when we're looking at this highly mobile, highly disconnected type of virtualized environments or cloud environments where you can reposition load, having that ability to really look into the future and plan these things out in advance based on actual usage and demand, not just guesses. It's extremely powerful, right? To enable an IT organization to do that with good, smart, factual data that's gathered from real world events, right? Thank you very much. So we've got a few minutes left, and in order to wrap up, we do like to open this up for questions. There are, as I said, if you need to ask a question, there is a chat box section. There's a questions section inside of your GoToWebinar control panel. Just type into the area there, click on send, and we will be able to see your questions. We do have a couple questions already submitted. Number one is, let's see here. Do you have any specific analytics or other capabilities for Exadata? Christina, I'll let you answer that.
Yes, we do. With the host analytics that we added recently, the host analytics allow us to analyze all types of servers, physical servers, VMs, IaaS, infrastructure as a service, and also Exadata. So basically, Exadata is just one of the targets for us to mine operational data from. We also provide dashboards such as the Exadata Health out of the box. So customers can use these pre-built dashboards to immediately see the health of their Exadata systems.
Okay, excellent. All right, and we have another question that's pretty common across all of these OMC related events. I'm sure you've heard it before. Again, every OMC product is a little bit different, but specifically for IT analytics, if you don't have Enterprise Manager deployed, or if I guess the better way to ask it, are there any dependencies with IT analytics and Enterprise Manager? I'll let you kind of cover those a little bit. But again, just so we're clear for the audience, IT analytics, log analytics, and APM are different offerings. And the IT analytics answer to this question is a little different than the answers we gave in previous ones, okay? So Christina, again, the question being, is EM a requirement to use IT analytics? And if so, why?
Okay, this is a good question. Currently, the answer is yes. IT analytics leverages the data that's already collected in the Enterprise Manager repository. So if you have enterprise manager deployment already, the IT analytics, specifically the data collector piece, will connect to that repository that has all the data already. So we can tap into that, gather that information, and provide you with the analytics of your IT operational data. The roadmap is that we plan to remove that dependency, but in the meantime, you can actually also use, if you don't have EM deployment, you can use the new infrastructure monitoring service, which has a cloud agent that would collect data that is needed for IT analytics.
Excellent, thank you. And then just one last question here is regarding trials. They're familiar, a little familiar with Oracle products, and they're just asking, is there a trial for IT analytics?
Yes, we do offer trial accounts for customers who want to experience IT analytics in their own environment with their own operational data. Uh, Please contact your account representative if you're interested. All you need to do is to get a few questions answered. We can provision a trial account for you. We have a trial process in place, and currently we are having a lot of trial going on with many customers who are interested. And this is a process where we don't just give you the trial account and say have at it. We actually work with you. We have a trial document. We walk through each step to make sure you understand the architecture, the technical requirements, the pieces that would, the lightweight pieces that would need to go into your environment. And we work with you to collect some data and monitor your environment. So this is a very good offering because you really get to get your hands on the product and pretty much see benefits immediately.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Christina, for answering those questions. I don't see any other questions posted here. Again, everybody, thank you very much for your time today and spending it with us to learn more about this IT analytics product from the Oracle Management Cloud. There are trials available. Again, you will be hearing from us. You'll get a contact email from Compasso to follow up with you. If you are interested in having further discussions about these tools or trying a trial, please feel free to reach back out to us. You'll see the email, just reply, and we will get and schedule a call to have a short, brief chat with you about these trials. Thank you very much. And again, Christina, again, thank you as well very much for doing the demo and helping us learn about these products. For the rest of you, have a great day and a good rest of your week. This concludes the presentation.